Hello everyone, I am X's Horizon. I am very happy that on the 15th anniversary of Xiangsheng, I, as an audio designer, will tell you about the development and summary of Xiangsheng's technology over the past 15 years, as well as some reflections and criticisms. Why do I say criticism? Because with my 15 years of experience now, looking back at some product designs 15 years ago, I think it is worth criticizing. It cannot be said that its previous products were so perfect, but there are always some directions for technical improvement. At the same time, we hope that audiophiles will realize in this way that a manufacturer has a 15-year understanding of technology, and some products after 15 years of technological iteration and development from its establishment to the end. This is the first issue. What is discussed in the first issue? Discuss PCB. This is something that audiophiles attach great importance to. It is called electronic audio products, and the most important point is PCB. From the PCB, you can see the technical development route of this manufacturer, which is very important. I will use these products and PCBs on my desk to tell you what Xiangsheng has experienced in the past 15 years and what kind of criticism it deserves. Some of products are made by me and some are not made by me. I still criticize why it can be made, and in fact it can be done better. So I take this as an opportunity. This is a very long video. Please watch it patiently. Let's start. The first product of Xiangsheng was called Aoni 100 in 2011. Now, the latest product is Discone, Dawn X, and DS in 2025. So, its products have gone through many development routes, such as turntables. Let me show you the product Xiangsheng Aoni 100. I have disassembled the product of Aoni 100. I will simply restore it here. You can see it. It is like this. There are two motherboards. One is the D series motherboard and the other is the A series motherboard. I will disassemble it and take a look at the side device. Then this product is 100 and the price at that time was 2,998. Then I will show you its two motherboards, which are very important, core motherboards. When Xiangsheng was just established, what was the ability of the team? The motherboard is Xiangsheng's FPGA motherboard. The product price is 2,998 and it can still be bought secondhand. Is it exactly the same as what I just showed? The price is 2,998. One is an analog version and the other is a digital version, which is connected and controlled by IIS in the middle. They are coaxial optical fiber and coaxial output. So this product can tell him. Let me first talk about the capabilities of the founders of Xiangsheng at that time. At that time, it was a part-time job. It was responsible for FPGA, audio part, audio tuning, including the search of some audio-related schematics. But I don't do PCB, mainly do some FPGA-related things, including some tuning-related things. This is another shareholder who has now withdrawn. He is a senior hardware engineer at Huawei. At that time, he had become the vice president of another founding company. I remember that he was a senior hardware engineer at Huawei. This is the PCB he made. There is no need to say that this is the PCB he made. It took 3 versions to make it. The top is the CPU ARM NPU, TI's ARM CPU, and this is the FPGA. This analog board used TI's 8000, 858 at the time, and used 4 OPA 2000 604s to do LPF and buffer amplification. 2604 was still good at the time, and it was a full vertical feeder component. Let me talk about this board. This board was made by a person who graduated from a major electronics department and specialized in analog circuits after leaving the company. He was an analog designer. He used IIS to control 82852 and used 4 OPA 2000 604 chips as LPF and buffer. The headphone amplifier is fully discrete, with field effect transistors and triodes separated. The headphone amplifier circuit has positive and negative 15 volts and a 5-volt power supply, which is powered here. Then let's talk about these two motherboards, which were made by very capable engineers in the industry. Our 0100 sold very well at the time. What I want to say now is that you can look at its materials. You can look at the materials used in this motherboard here. There is nothing wrong with it. First of all, you can see its filter capacitors. They are all from INA. INA's Theater series has two groups of 15 volts, and the 5 volt one uses Philips BC36, which is also considered a very high-end 36. Then the shop owner uses Dale. Everyone knows these materials. Then you see the high frequency film of LPF, which is made of silver film, and the other inferior ones are also made of Sinet film. The capacitor is a full inline, which must be machine soldered. You can tell at a glance that it is a full inline decoder board that is machine soldered. Let's talk about it from the perspective of audiophiles. And the headphone amplifier is fully discrete. The field effect tube circuit should be very, very feverish from the perspective of audiophiles. Don't you know that it is very, very feverish? All kinds of designs are very feverish, but it appears on the 2998 machine. This is a circuit of an analog board. I think from the perspective of audiophiles now, is there any disadvantage? Do you think it is a perfect board without any disadvantages? Then you see the digital version. What digital was used at that time because of the high frequency circuit? Because it is Huawei and I am doing audio tuning. You see, it uses the high frequency series. What is it called? I didn't see it. Sanyo's high frequency series of aluminum electrolysis is used for filtering, energy storage filtering, and bridge rectifier filtering. The high frequency series uses that tube. Then the secondary circuits are all made of what we call Sanyo's blue robes, and purple robes are solid capacitors, which were considered very popular at the time. It's a very popular material. Everyone can see that they are all tin film materials. Philips tin film is used for decoupling. Philips uses decoupling. The materials used in these designs are basically based on the very good materials that Xiangsheng could use at the time. The experience at that time was already used up. Such a good 0.11 is made of CBB, and a very good CBB. High frequency, low resistance series for filtering, Sanyo solid state. Sanyo solid state is very well known, and everyone is familiar with it among audiophiles now. Then, to the secondary voltage regulation, all in a row of 5 volt and 3.3 voltage regulators. This is an alloy board. This is FPGA. FPGA full linear power supply, SD card Molex, SD card USB. Isn't it very popular? This is also very popular, including the wires are customized wires, customized high purity oxygen-free silver wires. Let's not talk about the conclusion first, and then look at how Xiangsheng PCB was made later. Does it look like it? Let's not talk about the conclusion first. Everything in Xiangsheng is changing. This is done 100 Pro. It can't be disassembled. Take it down here. You can take a look here. This is a waste board, which is a burn board. Done 100 Pro has changed. It was made in 2013. The material used have begun to change. There are fewer direct plug-in components. They are still using similar materials, but they have changed. What has changed? Can you see the details of the PCB layout? Then look at the core board inside it. This is also called a core board. This is a core board of a switching power supply. It is a full switching power supply. There is an inductor, because only the switching power supply needs an inductor. The switching power supply must have an inductor, but the LDO linear power supply can do without an inductor. However, some have an inductor, but the switching power supply must have one. The core board has become a full linear power supply without a switching power supply. The tube angle is still the same, but the main board is different. The core board of this board has been remade. There are only a few capacitors around the FPGA. Do you see it? When I saw Down 100 Pro, it was full of capacitors. All Philips ultra high frequency film capacitors and other LDOs began to use LT. This is the 2013 Xiangsheng motherboard, and then we use the Better Rubicon series and use a Weimar black box for coupling. Just Weimar black box, you know. The 2013 Dun 100 Pro, this is the deluxe version. This is a scrap version. I told him that it is a scrap version. That is a burnt board. So we took it over. This Lotus Root box is a very high-end film, can be used with black box, and is also a Sanyo solid-state drive. It started to change in 2013. I saw it in 2013, and then I won't go into details. Let's look at a product designed in 2016, A300. You can see that except for a few main capacitors, which are audio capacitors and cost a few dozen yuan, they gradually became less and less. The silver film direct plug-in capacitors became less and less, and the materials became simpler. There was no change. This A300 was designed in 2015, which was 2013. Let's not talk about each year. In 2015, the PCB began to have a lot of changes. The shielding was shielded, the FPGA was directly shielded, and the direct plug-in socket core board socket was not a pin, but an aviation socket, which was gold-plated inside, and the glass tube began to change. Let's not talk about it first. If you look too deeply, you can see that the details of its isolation flow are beginning to change. The design of 2013 has a huge improvement in sound compared to 2011. Let me tell you, the design of 2015 has a huge improvement over 2013. These turntables can see that. Let's not talk about the decoding, which is also relatively simple. The decoding is 243,198 chips, and this is a single ADUN 1852 chip. Isn't the difference between the decoding design and the design very, very big? These two are completely different concepts. You can't see any too many direct insertion components except for a few capacitors on the 243,198 chips. The back is only single-sided, and you can't see too many direct insertion components. It's all SMD. This is all SMD and all direct insertion. This is analog. The change in digital is also very large. You can see this problem. Let's look at the design of 2017. That is the design of Damone in 2017. You can see the pure decoding part. The turntable part will be seen by taking the MR2 in a moment. It is a decoding part. Except for a few capacitors in the film, there's nothing else. All the plugins are invisible. It is very simple and feels very simple. It is double-sided. The back is full of materials. It has become double-sided. This is single-sided. Do you see it? There is no material on the single side. It is all double-sided. The 4-layer double-sided Damone has 4-layer double-sided paste. It is changing. And the entire research and development is changing. This is what we are preparing to make in 2017. Now, it will be released in 2020. It is prepared in 2017. Let's look at the one made in 2024. It is also double-sided. There are many materials in it, but it is not. It has materials inside. Do you see it? It is smaller, very, very small. Smaller. This is not on Dunx. It is one version worse than Dunx. We export it for OEM use. Dunx is more powerful than and the details are better. We export it. Is this version simpler? If you compare with this one, which one do you think has better business? Of course, you will say this one has better business and this one has worse business, right? If you say analog, then of course, this analog business is good and this one has worse business. Look at this analog. Your DA is not obvious and there is no direct plug-in component. This analog sound is definitely good and this analog sound is definitely very bad, right? Comparing these two, which one do you think has better business? Do you also think this one has better business? This one was made by Xiaocheng in 2011, and this one was made by Xiaocheng in 2017. It was released in 2020. Do you think this one sounds better and this one sounds worse? Is that right? Hey, if you choose, you will definitely say, hey, this is swapped, right? So this is the experience of Xiangsheng. What do you see from these PCBs? Everyone thinks of this kind of thing when they see it. Let's take two of them and do decoding. You will find that our audio files may choose this one instead of this one. These two are both decoders. This is very typical. These two are both turntables. You must think this one is strong and this one is not strong, right? First of all, The production cost of this one is only 10 yuan, about 10 yuan, just over 10 yuan. The production cost of this one is 40 yuan, and this one is more than 30 yuan for the standard version. If it is the luxurious one, you may have to pay more. For Dawn X, you have to pay more. I won't talk about its difficulty for now. So, audiophiles, do you believe in your own vision or believe in technology? This is the question I reflect on. I won't talk about how much breakthrough its technology has made for this reflection, because talking about technology is too deep and you may not understand it. I just show a change in the PCB of Xiangsheng, change in concept. So I would like to ask you first, have you ever thought about these questions? How do you look at the internals? What perspective do you use to choose products? Then after asking this question, I will take the time to tell you the development path of technology